Hi everyone. In this demo video, I'll show you how to activate LAS for NetScaler Console Service. But before getting into the demo, let's review some details around LAS, or License Activation Service. There's a hard deadline coming on April 15th, 2026, and customers who miss it may be impacted. Now, the upside is that LAS will make life significantly easier. No more manual license file management, and automatic entitlement updates on renewal. Also, the migration is straightforward. 3 steps. Upgrade your key products to LAS-enabled builds, register those products, and then activate it with LAS. And I'll be walking through how to do that in this demo video today. Finally, you can find more documentation on the Citrix support site, and I've also provided a link to NetScaler specific guidance, and you can find these in the description below. If you haven't started planning your migration yet, now is the time. Now, let's get to the demo. So I've logged into NetScaler Console Service, and when you go to the GUI, you'll see a License Management tab. When you click there, you'll see a new tab called License Activation Service, also known as LAS. This is the new licensing mechanism to which you will need to transition all of your NetScaler ADCs. The older licensing mechanism, which is file-based management, is shown in this older tab. I'm not going to open it right now, but everything which you did until now with the old mechanism would be here. So this is the new tab we need to focus on LAS. Since this is console service, the licenses are already synced here. I can see that all my flexed licenses are here, and I'm a universal hybrid multi-cloud customer, or UHMC, so that delivers NetScaler flexed license types, and I can see my entitlements listed here. If for some reason you wanted to do a sync on demand, you see that they're not synced and you want to sync them, you can use this button to do an on-demand sync of your licenses. Now, when I scroll down, I can see 2 sections here. The first section is to migrate your existing NetScaler instances to LAS. This section shows all your pooled capacity and flexed instances that use the old file-based licensing. You'll need to migrate your NetScaler instances in this section to LAS-based licensing. Here, you'll find a panel with 3 sections. The first I want to point out is on the far right and says, Instances require upgrade before migration. This shows you how many instances still need to be upgraded onto a LAS-compatible version and build. You can see here I do not have any instances on non-LAS compatible builds, meaning I don't have any that need to be upgraded. This next section in the middle, which says instances ready to migrate, show how many instances you have that are on a LAS compatible build but still need to migrate to LAS-based licensing. And finally, on the far left, you can see how many NetScaler instances have completed the LAS migration. One NetScaler instance is already moved to LAS, and you can see it listed here. Now, let's walk through how to do the LAS migration itself. The first step would be hit the Migrate button on the right. Then select the instance you want to migrate. If you have more than one instance, you can select all of them and migrate them together. And then you click on Migrate. This migration will be performed automatically by the NetScaler console. You'll see this migration is in progress. And now it is completed. You can click View Details for more information if you'd like. Here you can see the IP which you've selected, and the status is now completed. Once this is migrated, you can see this tracker is now updated to 2 instances in LAS. The one which is in the middle here has now been migrated to LAS-based licensing. So this is for the pooled and flex-based licenses, which you needed to move from file-based licensing to LAS-based licensing. If you have any NetScalers which are unlicensed or which are licensed using another license type, which is not pooled or flexed, in that case, they'll be listed down here. What you need to do first is license them. Basically, you're changing the license type from unlicensed or a local license type to a pooled or flexed license type. And you're also going to be changing that underlying mechanism from file-based to LAS-based. So You'll click on License with LAS here. Since it's just one instance, you can see it here. So I select that instance and then click on Continue. So here you'll also need to tell NetScaler Console how much bandwidth you want to allocate to that specific instance. So let's say I want to allocate it for 500 megabits per second. So that instance is already defaulted to 1, and I've given it 500 megabits per second as the input for bandwidth, and I'll click on Submit. So this is going to also license this particular NetScaler instance using a flexed license because I'm a UHMC customer, and you saw I had entitlements for flexed licenses. So it's going to change that to a flexed license, and it's also going to change the licensing mechanism from file-based to LAS. So this has gone through successfully, and you can see the success note here at the top. After giving this a few minutes to refresh, when you scroll down, you'll be able to see that instance present here. And now, the reason this takes a few minutes is because the NetScaler, which you are changing the license type of, will also undergo a reboot. This is because, as I mentioned, you're not just changing the licensing mechanism to LAS, you are changing the license type itself to flexed. Now, for the sake of time, I've edited this video a bit to show once this reboot was complete, but this only took 2 minutes. Yeah, so now you can see there are 3 instances in LAS. So earlier I had migrated one instance that was upgraded, and now I've licensed one instance. All 3 instances you can see listed under NetScaler instances in LAS. So that shows you how easy and smooth the migration to LAS or the license with LAS is. If you want to know how your Flex dashboard looks, you can go to Flex licensing here. It shows that I have entitlements to 1 terabyte per second and 999 instances of each form factor, VPX, MPX, SDX, and VPX FIPS. So you can see that the 3 of my VPX instances have been allocated, and the corresponding bandwidth has also been accounted for. You can scroll down to see the NetScaler licensed instances. This is pretty much the same as how we showcased it in the file-based licensing mechanism as well. You will see the 3 NetScalers which are licensed using Flex licensing here. Notice at the top there is a new tab called LAS Managed Entitlements, and the older licenses that are still using file-based licensing will be in the Manually Managed Entitlements tab. So I hope this helps you, and thank you so much for watching.